games are under attack from every angle. Oh no. Yeah, you know what? We might be encountering an interesting problem here. And we see this in real life all the time across was it ancestral battlegrounds? If you wait long enough before you kick out the invaders, they start having a legitimate claim to that land. If it takes you 50 years to kick invaders off of your land that they stole 50 years ago, there's going to be 3 generations of people who were born and raised there. That is their home. They personally are not invaders. They were born there. They were raised there. They lived their whole life there. From their perspective, if you show up to take it back, you're the invader trying to take their home away. It's very important to either give up and just basically do what we did, give up on the old and just make some new stuff and gatekeep the fuck out of it, or retake the new stuff as quickly as fucking possible. Because right now, I mean, some of these tourists, I occasionally see the anime tourists on Twitter, like, oh, so I guess having been a fan of this for 10 years isn't enough? Well, that means you only became a fan after the tourists ruined the hobby. So I still consider you a tourist, but I can still understand from your perspective why you may not see it that way. But that's why especially on the internet, because in real life, people get attached to pieces of dirt, and they start assigning religious value to pieces of dirt and start fighting over them for no reason other than they find it sacred. But that's not an issue online. One forum is the same as any other. Some people do get attached to individual IPs, but that attachment is pretty easily broken nowadays. So you got no reason to try to take back the shit that was already taken from you 10 plus years ago. Really just make something better to replace the old stuff and gatekeep the fuck out of it. The biggest or arguably most upsetting gaming news of the month is EA making a deal to be acquired by a group of 3 companies for $55 billion. What do you mean upsetting? I don't fucking get it. This entire deal, it's in the long run. I mean, private equity is never a good thing. It always ends in the company being milked for all it's worth and discarded. But it's better than what we got now. Yeah, like I said earlier, I think at least in the short term, they're going to leave the things that make money alone. If anything, they're going to redirect more resources towards it. And then they're just going to cut all the activist slop that just loses them money and customers and goodwill. This in itself wouldn't be the worst news in the world, except that those 3 companies are PIF, Silver Lake, and Affinity Partners. PIF is the private investment fund based in Saudi Arabia, which already owns stakes in Nintendo, Take-Two, Crapcom, and Embracer Group. The PIF have previously been accused of sports washing or using esports competitions and sporting events as a way to improve its public perception. It's kind of hypocritical coming from far-left activists, though. They do so much evil shit, and then they do like one good thing. And they look, we're good persons. Affinity Partners is owned by Jared Kushner, son-in-law of President Orange Man. Because of the presidential connection, experts think the acquisition is unlikely to face any serious opposition from regulators. Silver Lake, on the other hand, is one of the biggest private equity firms in Zavardo. So it's going to happen, just like it happened with fucking Microsoft and Activision. And the involvement of these companies offers some serious and obvious reasons to be concerned. Yeah, I'm concerned that EA might actually go back to making good games again like they did decades ago. That's what I'm concerned about. Like, dude, if Saudi Arabia announces that they're making EA revisit the SSX franchise and do it justice, and they're reforming the EA Sports big label again, that's gonna go pretty far in sports washing Saudi Arabia's reputation in my eyes. That's for damn sure. There are fears that EA becoming privately owned will likely mean more aggressive monetization for players of its live service games. That's probably what's going to, that was going to happen anyway, by the way. Whether it's privately owned or not makes no difference. As long as there's debt or shareholders to pay off, line must go up and enshittification will ensue. If anything, being privately owned, once the debt is paid off, this is a good thing because then you end up with companies like Valve. The reason that Valve doesn't jump on all of these trends and keep ruining everything like their competition does is because Valve doesn't have to bow to shareholders. Because Valve is privately owned, they don't have to worry about making next quarter's financials look good. They don't need to worry about short-term line go up, even if it kills the company long-term. So if anything, being privately owned is actually a positive, unless you're owned by a private equity company that's only interested in draining all the money from you before discarding your corpse. Then you're kind of fucked. It all depends on which kind of private ownership you're under. In this case, though, I really don't think Saudi Arabia is going to monetize these sports games any more than EA was already planning on doing. And there are also concerns of the fact that companies being forced to take on $20 billion of debt that, according to the financial lies, the purchasers are hoping will be earned back through AI-based cost-cutting measures. I'd rather have AI over whatever the hell it was that made Drag Queen Age the fail hard. What do you mean, yeesh, man? Give me the AI version. The AI version would look if you just prompted it to make another Dragon Age game, it probably would have actually continued the Dreadwolf storyline and actually been decent. Yeah, some characters may have had a few more or less fingers, but modders would fix that. What EA actually ended up releasing, like even the modders can't fix it. It's just like Starfield. Modders just gave up. So yeah, give me the AI version. It's probably going to be better than what EA did. Well, BioWare shat out. Now, beyond that, there are ethical reasons to worry. The PAF is chaired by Prince Mohammed bin Salman, who has been blamed for the assassination of Washington Compost journalist Jamal Khashoggi by the CIA. Well, no one seems to be doing anything about it, according to Eurogamer's interview with HRW Saudi Arabia researcher Joey Shia, we found that the Public Investment Fund has contributed to is responsible for human rights abuses. This is $1 trillion in Saudi state wealth that should be invested to realize economic and social rights of Saudi citizens. We found it's been invested in Vandy mega projects inside and outside the country. So the reason they need something that'll actually make them money is because of how many hundreds of billions of dollars they've flushed down the toilet with the Line and other was it Neom and projects like that. Now they're desperate to make money. Now, Saudi Arabia has long criminalized same-sex identities and sexual activity. President Orange Man has attacked Alphabet and Orange Man has attacked Alphabet Soup privileges. While EA CEO Andrew Wilson insisted values and commitment to players and fans around the world remain unchanged, fans of EA Studios and titles like The Sims 4, Mass Effect, and Drag Queen Age are worried the new owners will censor the games moving forward. Guys, why are you so mad? It's not censorship, it's localization. And don't even try but they're going to come for your stuff after they finished with ours. Guess what? I haven't bought an EA game in over a decade. I don't care what they do to EA. It's not my monkeys, not my circus. I don't give a fuck. The stuff that I'm playing now is as far from them as you can fucking imagine. And actually, you guys are a bigger threat to the stuff I like than Saudi Arabia is. If anything, where do I go to sign up to help Saudi Arabia take you guys out? I'd rather have them than you. And it's likely that doing so would incur massive public backlash. Okay, a lot of activists on social media would complain, but the sales would actually go up because the activists on social media don't actually buy this slop. If there was an audience for this slop, Drag Queen Age the Fail Hard wouldn't be a flop. A whole lot of NPCs will virtue signal about how it's important that it exists, but not a single one of them will actually give their money to play it. And that's where the gacha games are always going to rule supreme. The whales always get their way because they're the ones that financially keep the game afloat. If these developers want to keep putting food on the table, they're going to keep giving the whales what they want. As soon as they stop and the pod of whales migrates to another gacha game, that's the end. Going to be the same type of environment at EA now. They damn well better sticks to what makes money or else. Well, it's likely that doing so would incur massive public backlash. Yeah, just a bunch of whiners on social media, defeating the purpose of buying this company to improve the company's or the country's public perception in the first place. Are you guys still living in like 2020 when your echo chamber was still in full effect and anyone who went against your ideology got banned? We are past that, guys. People are actively celebrating your guys' loss, okay? Most of the world's population doesn't like you. In fact, they're bitter for having to put up with you as long as they did. There's a lot of schadenfreude that's about to be unleashed on your asses. Now, this fear hasn't yet been realized and may never be, but I wouldn't be surprised if some more subtle change in the direction of EA games in the future at the minimum. No, let me just say this again. They're probably just gonna cancel outright all of these woke games. They're not gonna censor them. They're not gonna force them to make them good. They're just gonna cancel those games and shut down those studios. Transfer some people over to FIFA. This is taking place in a time we're also seeing increased censorship of games, specifically not safe for work games, whether or not they're actually include illegal content or not. Yeah, imagine. Like, just say this with a straight face. Illegal video game. You can't say that without, like, at least cracking a smile because of how fucking ridiculous that sounds. Illegal content in a video game. You gonna seriously say something like that with a straight face? Airstrip 1's on Internet Censorship Act has led to itch.io blocking not safe for work games in Airstrip 1 in order to comply. Two websites that host adult games are facing legal action in the American state of Florida. Valve no longer allows games with adult themes to be launched in early access, and that's just the beginning. And look, most of this is because of people like you. People like you had a chance to fight for true freedom where anyone can release whatever they want. But nope, you wanted to censor that degenerate stuff that all of these alt-right Nazis like. Well, enjoy reaping what you've sown. Our alternatives are already working on other payment methods so we could get around the existing system. Some of them already have those in place. We've already moved underground to storefronts and communities where you idiots are like, you don't even know they exist. So you'd have no way to even infest them, even if you could. You guys are on your own, man. You can fight to try to keep EA if you want. We're too busy making new stuff to care and gatekeeping you idiots out of it. Like the gatekeeping is very important. Tourists must be gatekept. While not safe for work games and queer games are far from synonymous, censorship is a slippery slope. Then why did you guys support it for so long? Yeah, so now that it reached your spot on the slippery slope, now it's a problem for you? It wasn't a problem when you were censoring us? When you were excusing it by saying it's just localization? Reap what you sow, motherfucker. Slippery nature of the company guidelines or rules mean that vague definitions like adult content can easily be reinterpreted in line with pressure from external groups. Exactly what we've been trying to warn you idiots about for years. Now that it's too late, you now deign to listen, huh? All right. Queer content can too easily be considered adult and barred from storefronts. No, let's just say let's use the obscenity laws that they love to use against us so much against them. Oh, no, it's obscene. It should be banned. Many countries, my own Singapore included, give movies containing homosexual relationships higher age rating than those without, even if there's no sexual content included. They should be banned outright. That would be that would be a much better solution. I say that because like remember we talked about Uganda earlier, how when they banned homosexuals basically. And the president pointed at the Western world and said, look at what a fucking circus they are because they didn't crack down on these people. Like, we're not going to make the same mistake they did. And I'm just looking at him like, Rare Africa W right there. Yeah, they're noticing, guys. They're noticing. Someone tell the Defamation League because noticing is illegal. There's no mistake. It's a bad time to be making queer games, not safe for work or not. It is. It always has been, but you guys got a little bit of a reprieve when your bullshit ideology was being artificially propped up. Look at how fast the woke ideology is failing since USAID and other government funding to it got pulled. This exact same thing would happen to feminism. If the government didn't have the power or the resources to push feminism on us, it would meet the same fate. No one actually wants that toxic ideology. It's being forced on us against our will. So you had a period of time where you got to lord your ideology over the rest of us for a few years, but that's never going to come back now. You guys pushed way too far for way too long, and it's going to be generations before you're allowed to get even close to this again. The world is changing before our eyes, and localization, both subtle and overt, is taking hold. Go sign a petition if you can. Yeah, that'll solve the problem. Yeah, make a change.org petition to demand the Saudi Arabian government not cancel drag queen age. I'm sure they're gonna thoroughly consider your petition in their decision making. Yeah, go sign all the petitions. I'm sure the Saudi Arabian royal family is going to be reading through them with tears in their eyes, realizing that they're the bad guys or something. I'm sure that's going to happen. Yeah, now we know why Sodom and Gomorrah got salted. Yeah, history it goes in cycles, right? So whenever you hear about a historically oppressed people, you got to wonder, what did those people of the past that historically did the oppression know? I better stop before I get in trouble for noticing.